What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you are having a wonderful day. Today I want to talk about whether you should buy a Sur-Ron new or used, and I just want you to take into consideration a couple things before making your purchase. First off, we're going to start with should you buy it new, and of course that's going to be entirely up to you, but I would take into consideration a couple things before buying a brand new Sur-Ron. And the first thing I would consider is the price. If you're buying a brand new Sur-Ron, you're going to be paying around $4,500. I believe it's about $4,700 now, somewhere around there. But the one benefit of that is that you're gonna get a brand new Sur-Ron that nobody's rode. There's not gonna be any damage to it. There's not gonna be any bent pieces or anything missing. So that's gonna be the best part about buying a brand new Sur-Ron. You don't have to possibly take over someone else's problems, and that is a huge benefit when it comes to buying a brand new Sur-Ron, because a lot of people ride their Sur-Rons on trails and dirt. They jump them and they just don't treat them that well overall. So if you're buying a used Sur-Ron, you know, you might end up taking on someone else's problem. Whereas if you buy brand new, that is something you don't have to worry about at all. And I'll also say that there's no warranties with the Sur-Ron, so it's kind of pointless to buy it new unless you truly just want to have a brand new bike that nobody else has rode and you know there's not going to be any issues with it. So there's no really added benefit to buying a brand new Sur-Ron besides that. And that's why I'm making this video, because you can buy used Sur-Rons, you know, anywhere from $3,000 to around $4,000 depending on the mileage, who's selling it, and all of that. So depending what you're buying the Sur-Ron for, used might be the way to go, because if you can find a lightly used Sur-Ron, or even one that's been used a lot, if the person took really good care of it, you might be able to save $500 to $1,500 by buying a used Sur-Ron. And I think that is super beneficial, especially if you're considering buying the Sur-Ron for food delivery or something like that, like we talked about in the last video. Buying a used one could be extremely beneficial because you won't have to worry about losing that $1,500 in equity by the time you hit the 2,000-3,000 mile mark on your Sur-Ron. If you buy a Sur-Ron that already has 500 miles and you buy it for, you know, $3,800, by the time you hit 2,000-3,000 miles, you could still turn around and sell it for $3,000, $3,300, and you're not going to be losing as much. Whereas if you bought a brand new one and you turn around and sell it, you're going to be losing $1,500 on a brand new one. So that is definitely something I would take into consideration before buying a new or used Sur-Ron. I think the price is going to be super important if you plan on using the Sur-Ron to make money. But if you're just buying a Sur-Ron for fun and you have the money to blow, a brand new one might be in your better interest. Just make sure to take the time to do research and ask questions if you're going to be buying a used one. You want to make sure you're not buying it from someone who did something to the bike or anything like that. You want to make sure it's in good condition. Even though you're going to be saving $1,000 or whatever, you don't want to buy a used Sur-Ron that you have to turn around and fix. You don't want to have to buy a brand new forks or a new motor, or even though you shouldn't have to buy a new motor or battery or anything like that. I would mainly check the suspension and all your non-electrical parts when buying a used one, and like I said, just make sure you ask a lot of questions. Make sure the person you're buying the used Sur-Ron from is trustworthy. You just really want to do proper research when it comes to buying a used Sur-Ron, because if you can get one that's been lightly used or heavily used but been extremely well taken care of, buying a used Sur-Ron could be the way better decision. Like I said, you just want to make sure you're asking the right questions and doing the proper research before you make that purchase. And if you decide that it's not for you, then just buy a brand new one, you know, $4,500. You just truly got to take into consideration your position and what you plan on doing with the Sur-Ron. You know, if you only plan on riding it for a couple years and then selling it, a used one might be the better choice. If you plan on keeping it forever, maybe a new one's going to be the best choice. It's really all up to you, but there's just those couple things I wanted you guys to take into consideration before you make the purchase, and I hope you guys make the right choice. Stay tuned for more videos. I'm creating daily Sur-Ron videos right now, so if you guys like watching Sur-Ron content, consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.